Riddle me this, chat. Why would you choose to swim in shark-infested waters if you're Lando Norris 2.0 and you don't need to? You are holding all the aces. You have the MCL 3.9. We saw what that thing did in FP2. Put 5/10, half a second on the rest of the field as if this thing were easy. Lando, you're playing in home territory. Bahrain is where your owners, the sovereign wealth fund, are. Why, therefore, would you choose to distract from the task at hand that, in my opinion, is winning yourself races with a view to ultimately this year win yourself a World Drivers' Championship? Am I missing something, chat? This feels like this is simple. And again, I take a step back, and Nico Rosberg has told Lando Norris that if he wants to win a championship and therefore races, which he will need to do, there's a couple of things that he needs to clock, get his arms around, focus, mental fortitude, understand the tax that's to be paid if indeed you want to win, if indeed you want to fulfill your dreams. Nico Rosberg is the one to talk about this, no lest we forget 2016 when he overcame not an insubstantial natural talent deficit to the one that they call Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's the one that took the paint off of his helmet with a view to gain himself a couple tenths in lap time. He's the one who stopped doing gym, stopped cycling with a view to remove some of the muscle density from his legs. That's who you're talking to when you're talking about Nico Rosberg, therefore. So why is Lando Norris still playing these noddy games? You know that Max Verstappen was excellent last race weekend, put in a lap for the ages, one that clearly the racing gods, Juan Fangio, Ayrton Senna et al. Jim Clark too will have been smiling down, seeing the speed that the dude took for the Degner #1, seeing the speed and the late braking that dude managed to get done into the final chicane, penultimate turns, God tier levels. There's not too many F1 peddlers in all of F1 history that can do that. Max Verstappen, therefore, some would say, has every right to say that if indeed I got in that McLaren, I would be good. They wouldn't see which way I went. And that's, of course, what he said on the back of the Japanese Grand Prix. Don't believe me? Well, roll the clip.
Ik ben natuurlijk heel blij met wat ik doe. Ik wil er nog niet eens aan denken als ik in die andere auto had gezeten.
In die McLaren?
Had je mij niet meer gezien.
Nee, dan was je al in Tokio geweest.
Misschien wel, ja. Tot Shinkansen naar huis.
Ja, had je die McLaren op die...
Ik ben natuurlijk...
Max Verstappen there speaking to Viaplay in his native tongue, of course, telling them, if you give me the papaya-coloured car, I'm gonzo. Those two would have not seen which way I went. I would have dropped it on pole and then dunked on those two, Oscar Jack Piastri and Lando Norris, to the tune of 20 to 30 seconds. That's what Maximilian Verstappen's saying then. And how can you not agree with him? You would have to be an abbot of unreason. It would be disingenuous to argue against him on the back of the performance that he put down, out qualifying OJ and Lando in what was ostensibly superior machinery. However, going into this race weekend at the Bahrain Grand Prix, Lando Norris still has the whip hand, still has durable competitive advantage as far as the Drivers' Championship. Now, it's only 1 point. Should it be more? Abso-flipping-lutely. But sometimes you've got to play the cards that you've been dealt. Max Verstappen, when asked about that statement before this weekend's Bahrain Grand Prix, had this to say. Did you mean it, chap, or were you joking?
Ik ben natuurlijk heel blij met wat ik doe. I was not joking. So... You thought it was a joke? No, it's not a joke. I mean, we know how hard and how narrow our window is with the car. Now, then you get that question, what would you do in another car? Well, I give you an honest answer. But I also said in that same interview that is not going to happen anyway, you know, so there is no need to speculate about it. I was not joking.
Hypothetical games. If you play silly ones, you will get silly prizes. But Max Verstappen is telling them, I wasn't joking. I was the difference at the Japanese Grand Prix. It was me who dunked on OJ Piastri and Lando Norris in ostensibly a quicker car in that MCL39. You saw the flexi wing. Max Verstappen expounded again, not in that piece of footage, but he says, I'm not the only one who sees that rear wing at the back doing one of these. Within the rules, right? Load test, Nicholas Tombiasis, you see what's going on here. And with all that, yet and still, Max Verstappen is like, I did that. I put that thing on pole. I dominated the race. I had them within my control each and every single juncture through the twisties and the straights. Lando Norris didn't once get within DRS of me over the course of the 53 laps at the Japanese Grand Prix. Were I Lando Norris on the back of that? Again, I would take a leaf out of Nico Rosberg's book. He's the one that said what you need to be careful of if indeed mental fortitude is the altar at which your driver's championship campaign is most likely to fail. What you need to do is mitigate for the pressure. Make sure that you underscore wherever possible the doom loop that is pressure and expectations and a self-perpetuating cycle. Lando surely needs to retract from this. Why? Well, because there is lap time in it, some would argue. Look no further than Nico Rosberg in 2016 as your exhibit A, B and C. What do you think that Lando Norris said? What was his response? Roll the clip.
I don't mind. He can say what he wants. I don't care, honestly. Yeah, I mean, everyone can say what they want and believe what they want. I believe both Oscar and myself are good drivers. I don't believe he's maybe better at some things, but he's not better in every area. And I have a lot of respect for Max, but I also know some things are not true. You know, I would love he can come and test our car any day that he wants, and I'll be excited to see the disappointment on his face after he gets out. I don't mind.
Right. Everything that Lando said, apart from that final stanza, tick, tick, tick. I've got a lot of respect for Max. Cool. But you can see in Lando's demeanour that he's boiling right. He's keen to get back. That doesn't matter though, Lando. Everything that he said hitherto, the final stanza, I'm absolutely for and with. He said of Max Verstappen that he respects that fella. Tick. He said that Max drives very well, but sometimes not everything that he says is true. Ergo, I disagree with him that he would have dunked on us to the tune of 10 to 20 or 30 seconds if he were driving our car. Ergo, I don't think Max Verstappen is much better than us. Tick. You can say that. You're supposed to think that as a driver. Confidence comes as standard, but mileage may vary. All up until that final stanza when Lando Norris went too far. Lando 2.0 became Lando 1.0 and he failed to read the room. He didn't get the assignment. Goes on and bookends the statement by saying, Max Verstappen is welcome to come and drive our car whenever he wants. And I'll be keen to see the disappointment in his face. What's that? Chat about what is Lando Norris talking? I say again for the avoidance of doubt, if you're Lando Norris and you're driving that MCL39, you don't need to play these games. Not unnecessarily. You have all the advantages, all the aces. Play them accordingly. Therefore, Lando, I implore you, not out of hatred, but out of love, chap. You are a brilliant bloody peddler, racecraft and speed for days. Surely then, your lot is the line of least resistance. Why, in a world where life is difficult already, mission impossible, some would say, why would you make life go the path between here and winning your maiden Drivers' Championship? Why would you make that hill climb more steep in terms of its gradient than necessary, Lando? I don't understand, nor do I know the answer to that exam question. But Lando, you'll need to find it out soon. Bahrain Grand Prix, home territory, the territory where your owners, the owners of McLaren, where they dwell. No pressure there for Lando Norris. Lando Norris 1.0. It is your move, sir.